Hello. Oh, am I going live on Facebook? No, I'm not for some reason. I'm not sure why. Let me try again. Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Between the Covers. If you're watching for the first time, my name is Daniela Bleckner. I'm an author, book journey mentor, founder of a company called Conscious Dream Publishing. We work with authors from all over the world to help them to get their powerful messages and stories out there in the form of books. Behind me on the bookshelf here, you probably can't see them. Here's a little peek. Here's a little peek of some of the 350 plus books that we've published over the last 9 years. I'm absolutely passionate about providing a platform for unseen, heard authors so they can have their voices heard and stories shared, so they can educate, inspire, and empower for generations to come. Now, why is this show called Between the Covers, and what's it all about? This show is called Between the Covers because it's all about getting up close and personal with the authors and find out what goes on between the covers of creating, publishing, promoting, writing and distributing a book. It's so easy to pick up a book from the shelf and say, right, this is a fantastic book, fantastic read, but without knowing the whole journey and process that goes on behind it. This is finding out the author's motivations, their why, their messaging. Why have they written this? Why is it important to them? Why should this story be heard? But also getting into the nuts and bolts of the creation of the book. So without any further ado, I have an awesome and amazing guest here today. Of course I have. Her name is Winsome Bailey. She is the author of Mimi the Complaining Cat, and she's joining us all the way from Canada today. What is Mimi and the Complaining Cat all about? It's a beautiful children's book about a young... But you know what? I'm going to let her come in and tell us about the book. It's a beautiful children's book, though, about Mimi the Complaining Cat. And let me tell you a bit about Winsome Bailey. So Winsome, as I said, is based in Canada at the moment. She is a former social worker, storyteller, adventurer, and expert at seeing the world through the eyes of a child. Very important skill to have. After spending years helping children grow and thrive, she decided to sprinkle some magic into books just for you. Winsome has been writing children's books for 6 years, filling them with fun, excitement, and just a little bit of mischief. She published her first book in 2021, and she hasn't stopped dreaming up amazing stories since. She loves imagining wild adventures, creating lovable characters, and making learning feel like an exciting journey. Let's welcome Winsome into the studio. If you're watching, please do say hello, tap the screen. Hello, Janet, show us some love. Please share this with your network. If you find this of worth and value, how can you not? What I forgot to say is you can also support me by sending stars, which convert into small amounts of money, which help me to keep this show going in terms of the promotion, StreamYard subscription, and also everything else that comes with it. Stars help me to earn money to make more content like this. So please do welcome the awesome and amazing Winsome into the stage. I want to see those emojis. Hey. Hello.
Hey guys. Hi.
How are you? And how does it feel to be a very nearly published?
Oh wow. Oh my goodness. I am just in unbelief that I have got here. Excited. Little nervous, but but happy. Very happy.
This is your first interview, isn't it?
My first ever interview.
Brilliant. Please can we show Winsome some love? It takes bravery. You are the third person. I've had 3 consecutive interviews where it's been the person's first interview. So this is exciting. All right. Congratulations for your nearly published book. Or let's say hello to people who are on live, first of all. Janet, soon to be author, says good evening. Hello, Janet. We've got Mary sending her emojis. We've got Michelle Price saying, hi, Winsome. Michelle actually connected you to me. Michelle's one of our authors, Perfectly Imperfect Poetry book. Mary says, hey, Win. And Angel is showing you some love as well. Wonderful. You got this, girl. You've got lots of support. So brilliant. Let's crack into the book. What inspired you to write the character of Mimi, and why a cat in particular?
Well, what's really interesting is Mimi is a real, live, living cat. And she is the cat of my friend's daughter, Jenae. Everything that's written in that book is real. Mimi did everything that I wrote. I just made it more humane in the way I wrote it. Mimi brought us a lot of joy, a lot of fun. Her naughty ways made us laugh, but it definitely did not make her mum and dad laugh because she did some things that was very, very naughty.
So that tells, I guess, everything that Mimi did that was naughty. Because you have to read the book to find out. What is the book about, and why did Mimi inspire you to write this?
Okay, so what we noticed, well, what I noticed as well, is that whenever Mimi's human parents went out, she became very fretful. And she acted this out by doing naughty things like she would climb up on the curtains, she would lock herself away, she wouldn't come out. And at one point, she actually pooped on the bed. And that was her way of showing that she was anxious.
I've never sneezed. I've never sneezed. I'm so sorry. I've never done that. I might be allergic to Mimi.
Maybe. So, her behavior was definitely showing that she was anxious. She hated being left alone and therefore reacted in the way she did. And what inspired me to write that is because I could draw the parallel, the link between children who I've worked with over the years, and different ages too, where you can see that being left, whether it's at nursery, whether it's, me working through and with foster carers, whether it's through adoption, it was very, very clear that these children were really feeling that anxiety, not knowing where they're going, not knowing with nursery, when is mommy coming back? And I can testify to that with my own child. Really, it brought back memories for me when I used to drop her off at her nanny's. And I don't know how this little girl of 2 knew that we had nearly reached where I was going to drop her off. But as soon as I turned that corner, she would become very anxious and would start crying. And whilst I was writing about Mimi, all of that came flooding back. About how if we are not careful and if we don't prepare children when we are going to be leaving, that they will feel anxious, they will feel lost, and they will experience that separation. And like children, Mimi just don't have the voice because she's a cat. But if you relate it to children of a certain age, babies, they certainly don't have a voice. And their only way of sharing how they're feeling is through being withdrawn or through crying, clingy, and just not settling. And that's what my inspiration was.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We've answered so many of my questions here.
I'm sorry.
No, it's great. I mean, I introduced you at the beginning as a former social worker, and it's so clear that a lot of your influences and your experiences have been shaped. The book has been shaped by lots of your experiences and
absolutely
as a former social worker. So this book can be read on a kind of base level of Mimi, a complaining cat, runs away, comes back and shares her feelings, but going deeper into it, like you said, working with young people, from babies through to children, young people who've been adopted or gone through foster
And
care.
even older children too,
Yeah, dealing with
they do.
separation anxiety and abandonment issues.
Absolutely.
Really good,
Absolutely.
really good point.
Yeah.
What would you kind of what would you say the main message is then for both the young people reading this, the reader, but also to parents, caregivers, and teachers?
Yeah. Well, to young children reading it, I think it's really important for us as parents, teachers, foster carers, to reinforce and to teach children that they are going to feel anxious, but that they're going to be okay. Yeah. And I feel that's what we don't do. A lot of times when children are feeling anxious, what we tend to do is we want to fix it by perhaps removing them from that situation. But what we do now know is that they don't learn how to deal with it. And um, one of the things that we will never be able to protect children from is the unknown. But what we can let them know is that it's going to be okay. Parents need to reassure their children that, yes, you're going off to school now, or you're going to nursery, or whatever the situation may be, but I'm going to come back. I'm going to be back for you. And that's the message, to reinforce that they're going to be okay.
Perfect.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
there's a great bit in there as well, I think, for the reader about the importance of sharing their emotions and feelings
Very important.
with people as
Yes. And for as adults, for us to accept that. So some children may show their anxiety through crying. We that's okay. We should encourage them to share in any way that they feel comfortable. And some children may do an angry stomp, and they may,
sulk or
sorry,
sulk or
they may sulk.
damage
Yes,
things. Yeah.
damage things, like Mimi,
Yeah.
and that's okay. We need to allow them to express what they're feeling, because that's the only way that they know how. And it's important for us to listen. It's certainly important for us to look out for those cues that children are given. Yeah, and to reassure them that it's going to be okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, looking at the sort of writing and storytelling journey, there's many different ways to share a message and to write a story. So,
Yeah.
story written in rhyme, was that a creative choice from the beginning? What do you think rhyme adds to the sort of emotional experience for the children?
Well, it's really interesting that you should ask that. I never set out to write the book in any form of writing skills. It just came to me, and I think that rhyming is a way of bringing children along with you. They can kind of it's telling the story in the way that I think children can hear it. Yeah. Um, and sometimes what I find with rhyming, children can also predict what the next word is likely to be, like
Yeah.
high sky. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? In that way, they can kind of predict, preempt what the next word is going to be. Good, glad, sad, that kind of rhyming.
It's a great way to reinforce the message as well.
Yeah.
My book's also written in rhyme, and I'm a
Right.
poet, so I
Yeah.
love things written in rhyme as well.
Yeah.
Would you like to share with the audience an excerpt of your book?
Yes, of
Okay,
course.
so I'm going
Okay.
to take myself out now, and you can share away.
Okay. Okay, guys. So this bit that I'm reading is after Mimi decided to run away. Um, so here we go. She says, meow, meow, oh botheration. They've gone and left me, gone on an exploration. But oh, they will wish they had never left me. Oops, pooped on her bed. That will teach her. Meow, meow. Oh, how I wish I could go with them as I watch them leave wistfully. This is not the first or second time I wish I had a dime for all the time. They've gone to church to sing hallelujah. Then it's off to grandma to eat roasted potatoes, turkey, and gravy. She makes sure that I'm left with plenty of food and I have my toys to stimulate me all day. But I would give it all up if she would just stay and play.
Lovely. If you're watching, let us know, what did you think of that excerpt? Do you want to hear more?
Oh my gosh.
If you want to get a copy of the book, you can go to the link in the either up there or down there, depending if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. Mimi the Complaining Cat, if you've just tuned in, is available. Signed copies at Conscious Dreams bookshop, as well as all good retailers. So please let us know what you think. Lee says give you some claps, says amazing. Mary Reed's giving you some support here.
Thank you guys.
A very interactive show. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Mary. So this is a very interactive show. Again, if you're watching, you can please ask your questions. Please do support this by sharing, commenting, giving it a love. No likes, we like love here. Always give out the hearts and share this with your network. Mary saying more. Michelle saying, yeah, lovely, really child friendly. And you've got some beautiful illustrations inside as well. Look at Mimi.
Yeah.
Mimi, very sweet. So
thank you.
Collaborate with anyone, or I know you came with your own illustrator during the process?
Yes. I actually I think I mentioned in my book some of the people who were just amazing. I found this illustrator, Mel, in Thailand. In fact, he's been absolutely brilliant, on time,
very fast,
response to, very, very fast. But I particularly wanted to say a huge thank you to Mary and to Michelle. It's amazing how out of adversities can come good, because I met Michelle through Mary when I should have attended Mary's wedding in the UK last year, but I wasn't able to do so because of some life-changing stuff that was happening in my life. And then through Mary, I met Michelle, and we were just talking one day, and I was saying to her that I was writing a book and I was looking for an author. And she said, stop there right now. I've got the right person for you. And it's you, Danielle. I really want to thank you as well. I could not have done this without you. I am the worst person when it comes to social media. And you have been nothing but kind. And I cannot get over how patient you are with me. And I just want to say thank you. And what you've made me do, if you'll ever have me again, is to come back with, I mean, I have 3 more books in the works. So if you can handle me with 3 more.
You've been absolutely fantastic. Honestly, it's been so lovely working with you. I know we'll continue working, and I just love the message and ethos behind the book. Obviously, someone who works in schools and works with young people who have a lot of these issues. I think it's something that's really important and can be read by different people on many different levels, I think.
And I think when I was working with children of between the ages of 4 and 9, something like this I would have loved to have had. A book like this, but also the teaching aid that goes with the book. I would have found that quite useful.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. Mary's saying, what made you create a black focus book or a cat focus book?
Yeah, I did that because Mimi, honestly, guys, if you ever met Mimi, she's freaky because she has human qualities. She really has human qualities. For example, I have seen her, I don't know how she knows when Jenae and her parents are due back, but she would be sitting at that door 5 minutes before they pull up.
Yeah.
And I don't know how she knows. But she just has such human qualities, and that's what inspired me. She's very endearing, but she's very standoffish as well. She's got that cat grace about her too, even though she can be very naughty. Mm-hmm.
That's just so cute. I think the
Thank
question
you.
was black focus book, but I think it's because it's based on your own family, right?
Yes, and the family I'm talking about is black.
Yeah.
Yeah, as well. Yeah.
Okay. So Dion,
Thank you.
sorry, says I have got a copy for my grandnephew.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank you.
Fantastic. Janet says we all see how supportive Danny is. Oh, highly recommended.
Totally. Absolutely.
Janet's been doing. She did the Power of Your Story workshop I did in November, and also brilliant with the 90-day accountability. She's finished her manuscript and has submitted. She's taken some feedback. She's ready to submit again. So really, really
well
proud
done.
of Janet. Shout out.
Thank you, Janet.
Says Winsome, you are doing well. So proud of you. Looking forward to buying and reading your book, and already have a little girl that I can share this with. Brilliant. Please do support authors. Get a copy of the book. You can get it from Conscious Dreams Bookshop, which is always much better for the author because number one, you have that personal connection, it's signed, and number two, most importantly, they get 3 times the amount of royalties when, as opposed to selling on Amazon, which is a great platform, but it's really good to buy directly from authors from that perspective. Michelle says Danny is the best. She really doesn't know how good she is. Oh,
yeah.
So
I so agree.
Thank you. Oh.
And the nice thing about Danny is you may never have met her in person, but it's as if you have. There is just that awesome ease working with you. Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. It's lovely. Oh, get all flattered here. All right, let's move on. Theon says, what inspired you to write children's books in general? Because that's like your
it's kind of my thing. It's kind of for all of my working life, it's been working with children from 0 to 18. So I've always had a love for children. And I mean, I also at one point was part owner in a nursery school. And I did that because I just love to see the way children develop and learn. I'm in my happy place when I'm in that kind of environment. So that's why I'm coming 30 years in from working with children. That's all I've ever really known. That's why.
And you've already got that kind of ready-made audience there for you.
Yes.
You're not writing blindly. That's wonderful. Thank you. Michelle says cats have so many emotions. Yeah, 100%. So do pigeons. So do pigeons.
Oh, I keep up with your pigeons. Trust me.
They're here on the windowsill right now. Oh gosh, thank you, Janet. Where can I get the book in Canada? So it is available on Amazon, the CA site, the Canadian site. I think there's another Canadian bookstore. Is it Chapters or Indigo?
Yes,
but
Chapters and Indigo.
Both of them. They got it right. There you go. So any of those 3 you can get the book from. Lovely story. Well done. Michelle says, really proud of you, Winsome. So you've got some.
Thank you.
Again, being an author can be quite a lonely journey, especially through the writing process. What's great here is we've got a few authors that are commenting, or a few aspiring authors as well. Do connect with each other because it's about how we support each other, promote each other, share each other's lives, events, go to each other's events, links, interesting things happening. It's a community. We've got to do it ourselves. All right. So were there any challenges balancing a story that is sort of entertaining and quite therapeutic?
Were there any challenges? To be honest, when I first started to write, as I said, it was never something that I thought I was going to do. It was, to be honest, I believe it was God ordained, because I just woke up one morning. I woke up out of my sleep one night, and with the word you're going to be an author, you're going to write a book. And I actually woke up and wrote it down, because you never remember what you
Yeah.
dream or what comes into your mind. So I got up and I wrote it down, and then I looked at it in the morning and I was like, oh, where did that come from? Right. um I think it wasn't so much of a challenge, actually, because I started to write it during COVID. I think COVID was the challenge,
Mhm.
because we were all locked in, and you know nowhere to go, and that's when I wrote about Mimi. Because at the time I was actually staying, we were all staying together in this massive house. We decided we were going to live together through the COVID situation. So I was able to see and just be around Mimi, and which made it easier for me to write the book. Um, challenging challenges, I suppose. You can't just sit down and write a book in 1 day, 2 days, or whatever. It takes time for it to all come together, and sometimes some of what you want to write just doesn't fit.
Mm.
So you just have to wait for that time and that inspiration to come. It's amazing how it does come, and
Yeah.
it's amazing how it does fit. It really fits the narrative that you're wanting. So I think it's about patience as well. And it's about what you're feeling inside. You're writing, it's an emotional thing as well, right? You're not just writing from your head only, but you're connecting with emotions too, especially if we're talking about anxiety, separation and loss and so forth.
Mm.
Yeah.
So we're talking about sort of separation and anxiety. There is
Mm.
also an ebook that you can get, which is actually only it's on Amazon and other sites as well. So it's like a guide that can be
Yeah.
used alongside the book for parents, caregivers, teachers. Can you share a little
Mhm.
bit how they can use this tool to work with children alongside the book?
Yes. Basically, what it does, it gives parents in particular, I suppose teachers would have those kind of skills, but it gives them pointers, words that they can ask. So therefore, you don't ask leading questions.
Mm.
Yeah, you ask open-ended questions, and that's really important.
Just for
So
people who don't know what that is, because obviously I'm aware as a teacher,
yeah,
like
yeah.
what is that?
So, for example, you wouldn't necessarily say to a child, um, "So you're feeling scared, then, are you?" um, rather than, so how does that make you feel
Mm.
when mummy leaves? So that's open. You're not putting anything there for the child. The child is being given the space to talk about how they're feeling, rather than you putting that thought and idea in their head that may not have been there in the first place. So do you know what I mean? Like, were you scared? Um, yeah. So that's open ended and yes, not allowing, not putting your own thoughts and ideas in the child's head.
Perfect. Thank you. So what advice would you give to adults who may struggle sort of validating their child or a child they're working with, validating their kind of smaller complaints?
Do you mean when a child is acting, is showing that
Yeah,
they are?
like trying to think of an example. I mean, I guess you could see some of the things in the book as
Yeah.
complaint. Oh, you've gone and you've gone to church and left me today. Yeah,
Yes.
like how would a parent help to validate those kind of feelings?
For me, I think it's always important not to negate how a child, what a child is sharing is what they're sharing.
Yeah.
And I do believe that you have to acknowledge that and let them know that you understand what they're feeling, and that sometimes, um, being left they may feel that you're never going to come back. And that's what I was saying earlier. It's about reassuring children whenever you leave them, even if it's I don't know, you're just popping to the shop, or you've left them with someone in the house. You really do need to communicate. I think too often we as adults think that children will automatically know that they're safe and that they're okay and that you're going to come back, but they don't. You do need to do the work. You do need to let them know. You do need to reassure them. We just can't take it for granted that children have learnt those skills, because they have not.
Yeah.
Not yet.
So the main points are don't negate a child's emotions or be dismissive.
No.
Don't assume that a child knows what's going
That
on.
they know. No, they don't. It's a scary time too, right? Especially if we look at a child's first day at nursery. They're walking into this massive building, for example, with people they don't know, little people who they've never met. And you as a parent's being told, you can go now, you can go through just you don't worry, we've got this. But we do need to take on board the parents' feelings and their anxiety, because part of what they're feeling, they're kind of putting it on the child too. So it's a double whammy, how we work with the parents and definitely how we work with that child. And it is about encouraging the parents to reassure that child that where they're being left is safe and that they will be coming back, and for that staff member to reassure that child too. Perfect. That's why it's so important for children in that kind of setting to have one-to-one in terms of care.
Thank you so much. So now let's kind of look ahead to the future. Will we see any more new books?
Oh gosh, yes. I'm so excited.
Well, tell us a little bit. Don't tell us the whole plan, but give us a little flavour of what's to come.
Okay, so I have a few. The one that's most ready is it's called the Spices in Mrs. V's Kitchen. Right?
Oh, I remember this, yeah.
And it's kind of written in Scotland, so they've got a Scottish accent. And the story is about salt and pepper, vinegar, and pickled onions. Okay, so they are writing it's about who they feel is the most important of all the spices in Miss V's kitchen. And it's very funny too.
Salt, vinegar, or pickled onion.
So she's having fish and chips this night. So they're all
not vinegar. I'm sorry. Who has vinegar on their chips? This is going to be a whole debate right now.
Exactly.
Wow. I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this next book. So there's going to be more books coming from you. Yes. That's fantastic. Let's just go home back to this book. What is one thing that you hope will stick, in the reader's mind long after they've finished reading Mimi the Complaining Cat?
One is that Mimi's a loving little cat. Mimi, it's a funny story, but it's also what I want to stick in the reader's mind is that it's okay. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel anxious, and that it will be okay. At the end of the day, it will be okay. And where Mimi ran away as well, the message also is, we encourage our children to talk about feelings, because if Mimi felt that she could explain, or if Jenae and her mom picked up on the cues that Mimi was giving, which were a lot, then and dealt with it, then Mimi more than likely would not have run away. So it's important for children to know that they can talk about feelings. before it gets to a point where they cannot contain it or handle it.
And I think that message really comes across. Obviously, when I did my first read, I really found it quite moving, entertaining, but also quite moving, because the message was very clear. In fact, I sent you a video. I do people who don't know, I do storytelling workshops, and I also teach English. I've got a young mentee. She's only 7.
Yeah, she's cute.
She's adorable. So whenever any new books come through, I always give them to her to read. So she was reading this, and by the 3rd page, she goes, "Oh," she got it straight away. "The cat feels sad because the family leaves her by herself. She doesn't know how to say that there's a problem." And I was like, "You've got it."
Yeah.
So you've got your message across really, really clear. I think it is a beautiful book. Look at this. Look at that cover. I just love the colour of the blue of the sadness contrasted with the yellow and the brightness and the kind of chaos that Mimi causes throughout. I'm wearing orange to match the book.
Ah, super. It highlights the blue even more.
Yeah. It's such a beautiful book, guys. Please do support Winsome Bailey and her book. Share this out. Please don't just love this interview. If you're watching on YouTube, when it finishes, come back and leave a comment. It really helps with visibility. And get a signed copy from the Conscious Dreams bookstore, or you can get a copy at all good retailers. Any final words from you, Winsome?
Oh my gosh, just I can't wait to actually see it in the bookshops, actually. And you just can't believe you did this. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who have supported me. I've got some really amazing people in my corner. They felt I could do this, even because at one point I was not going to publish it.
Oh, no.
I just did not have that faith in myself that it would be good enough. So I'm glad I've done it. And as I said, you've been awesome as well. So thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to all my supporters, my friends, and my family. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Beautiful. And here's to many, many more supporters, fans, and books coming from you. So I just want to say to everybody, thank you so much for coming on. It has been a beautiful conversation. Join me next Wednesday, 7 p.m. GMT, 2 p.m. EST, where I'll be interviewing Joan, or J.K. Andrews, who's written a biography, Making of a Masterpiece, the Farrakhan George Kelly story, based on a Jamaican-born artist and sculptor.
Super.
There you go. Real life story there. Wednesday, not Thursday, Wednesday, 23rd, 7 p.m. GMT, 2 p.m. EST. Please do join me then. Support Winsome Bailey in her writing endeavour. Get a copy of Mimi, The Complaining Cat, and I'll fade you out to our theme tune music. See you later, everyone. Bye-bye.